February's front lever planche side split workout, we're doing dynamic, so you're going for that 1 to 3 rep range. You could do more reps if you like, but 3 reps I find is quite good. It's still a nice controlled tempo. For the front lever, the pull version, if you're doing the easier version where you're assisting with the legs, it's a good idea to set up the rings where you can't quite touch the butt. So you've got it here, and I'm just using a box here to spot me, but I'm in that full dead hang and my butt can't quite touch. That way I strengthen the lats to pull from that dead hang position. From there, and then I pull, activate the lats with the lower traps, pulling right through, trying to come right up. Control, come down, just enough help, and then back up. To make that one harder, you can integrate the kind of dynamic. You kind of can't get the pull, you're finding that too easy and it's not really doing a lot for you. You can jump up and then lower down with the straight arm. You can do the bent arm going up and then straight arm coming down, that's cool too. Bent arm coming down is, you know, for most people it'll just make it take longer because you kind of just get used to bending at the elbow. You're still going to strengthen through here, from the elbow to here like that, but you're not going to open that up as much because you're keeping that closed. So the whole point, like if you're there and you're lowering down to there, you've kept that closed. We want to let the shoulders open up and get strong through the lats, through that full range of motion to get that overhead position more comfortable. So you lower it down, I'd raise it up a little bit so it's easier to keep the position. So you jump up into the tuck, inverted, and then lower down, jump up, lower down. If you can get 3 10-second eccentrics on that, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to get that closed tuck pull up. So as an example, you jump up, lay back, control, keep the shoulders open, trying to come down all the way. And you go even slower than that so you get the full 10 seconds. The pull from there is quite hard. You can get a bit of momentum by bringing the knees into the chest, but you don't want to bend the elbows. So you want to try and get that, pull. You're getting 3 reps. If you find you can maintain the tuck pretty easy and get the 3 reps, and you're ready to go to the next level, which would be opening the body on the way down. So you're doing 3 eccentrics, a little bit harder, but you use the easier one to get up every time, and then you can use the same one to go up as you're going down on the harder version as a progression. But you just got to keep note of what you're actually doing and are you improving over that time. So for the planche, you want to have it set up high enough to get enough band tension. You could do this one with the toes on the ground, which would be, it's a dynamic height position. So you're trying to get up as far, get your hips over the middle of your palm, because that's your balance point, get them over there, grip with the fingers so the pads of the fingers are pulling back, but the first knuckles are pressing down, pull back, lean over, and then you can slowly bring those knees into the chest, try and control it, come down, into that tuck, press back up, and then go again. So you're just doing that exact same drill with the band, and using enough band helps to do it well. What I find with myself and with a lot of clients and people training this way, they're always training that the version that's just so hard for them every session. So training becomes more of a risk. Whereas if you train in a way where you always leave a little bit in the tank every time, and you just let your body get stronger because you're being consistent and you're looking after your body, you're sleeping well, and you're keeping your body balanced, it's so much easier and much more enjoyable. Whereas if you're always trying to borderline and just pushing that line too hard to try and get to break through, you'll find that you'll compensate, your form won't be as good, and then you'll find that over time you won't develop, not because you're not trying hard, but because you've got little niggles all the time. And that's what I found I've been doing with myself, pushing myself a bit hard, but not actually doing the work intelligently as much as I could. So slowing down a little bit, keep the workouts enjoyable, and keep a version that you can do really well with good form and build that time under tension. So for example, like you might do 3
3 reps and then, you know, with a certain band really well, and then you go up to a harder band, but that might be a bit faster, and then as you get better, you slow those reps down, use more time under tension to improve it. So if I've got the ring now, I'm going to bring my fingertips back past it, and then lowering. Control, 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 toe tips down, spot up. Control, control, control. Oh, fatigue today. And just trying to get that slower and slower. So if I can get those for 3-10 seconds with that band, then it's worth going to the next band. So I've got the purple band there, so then I go to the black band. Because I'm doing 3 in a row like that, it's a decent amount of time under tension, but when I go up to the harder band, I might come back to doing 3 3-second eccentrics with that, going down to get those dynamic reps, and then eventually we could make it harder with the purple again by not even touching the ground the whole time. So being that pike press, lowering down, going back up, and that would be the ultimate goal where you're not touching the ground at all. Would be quite cool, and then going through the bands again. So there's always more to develop in getting that kind of planche tuck press to handstand and back down, which is a really heavy movement to develop. Then for the side split, it's a loaded weight shift, so you're doing a horse stance like last month, coming down nice and deep, loading it, and then weight shifting, going from side to side. Trying to keep level and get deeper, get stronger. Try not to let the back arch, try and really use those glutes, keep the knees pushing out. I would recommend getting some weights for training, you know, if you don't, especially if you're living in the same place. If you're traveling, you know, the bands and the rings are fine, but if you're living in the same place and, you know, like, you know, some adjustable dumbbells, you don't have to get lock set dumbbells, but getting the ones where you've got the adjustable plates on them will really make your training a lot more productive. I like the idea of just doing body weight stuff, but in reality, you know, using external load as well as your own body weight and the bands and stuff, you can just get so much more done. So I find it's a lot more practical. So just having that wrapped in front and working side to side. Gradually, you know, you can improve that by doing more weight, getting a bit deeper. To make the deeper a bit more measurable, you could film it to see the angle or have something that you've got as a reference to know that your hips feet are that wide and your hips are that low when you're doing it. It's a little bit harder, but you know, if you're getting right down and you've got a decent amount of weight, you know you're improving. So you want to, you know, and then the overall result will be a really nice side split that's strong and flexible, and you've got good control through your hips all the way around. That's what's going to allow you to maintain that mobility. If you just do it statically in one position, you'll find you won't be as strong as being able to get in and out of that position with mobility. Then on the rest periods for this workout, I would just encourage, you know, wrist mobility or whatever you feel overworked in that round. And then again as well, if you need more than 2 minutes per round to get next set performance because you're challenging yourself a little bit, that's a way to make it easier on it. The 2.5, 3 minutes, 3.5, 4 minute rounds. You know, and if you've got the time, you could even do up to 5 minute rounds if you're really trying to break through on a plateau and push a harder version of something. But you know, you always got to be conscious of how much time your training is taking so you can be consistent with it. So it's how you put it together that's going to add up to the results. But yeah, if you've got any questions, send them through with your video of your front lever planche side split. Cheers guys.